Hi everyone, this is going to be your 91B questions being answered. So we're going to start on number 19. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the square root that's in the denominator. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 2. Now when you do that, you need to distribute the square root of 2 into the numerator, and that would give me 4 square root 2, and then 3 root 2 times root 2 would be 3 times 2. In the denominator, I would end up with negative 2 because square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just 2. And then I notice that I can actually divide all of those terms by negative 2. Now 4 divided by negative 2 would be negative 2 root 2. And then 6 divided by negative 2 would just be negative 3. And that would be your answer to number 19. Now moving on to number 22, looks like this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to identify this piece right here. Now this is going to the right of the origin, and it's not going up or down. So that means that I'm going to identify that this is going 6.00 spaces to the right and 0 spaces up or down. So plus 0.0 u. Now I'm going to draw a triangle over here in this quadrant. Notice that this is going to the left of the origin, so my r is going to be negative, and then it's coming up off the x-axis, which will make my u positive. Now I'm going to use cosine to solve for r and sine to solve for u. So this would be x would be 4 times cosine of 40, and then y will be 4 times sine of 40. So when I do that, I'm going to do 4 times 40 cosine equals, that's going to give me 3.06. And for y, I have 4 times 40 sine equals, and that will be 2.57. So again, my r is negative because it goes to the left of the origin, so that will be minus 3.06 r. And my u is going to be positive because it comes up off the x-axis. So that would be plus 2.57 u. When I add those together, I'm going to do 6 minus 3.06 will give me 2.94 r. And then plus 2.57 u. And that will be your answer. Now we're going to look at number 29, and then I'll go back and do 29 and 30, and then I'll do number 23. So I'm starting with dividing. So 29 divided by 29 is x plus, or 3x cubed minus 2x plus 2 divided by x plus 2. So if I divide 3x cubed divided by x, it's going to give us 3x squared. Then when I multiply this through, 3x squared times x would be 3x cubed. And then 3x squared times 2 would be 6x squared. But remember that you're subtracting. So this is going to become negative and this is going to become negative. Your x cubes are going to cancel. 0 minus 6 will be negative 6x squared. Bring down the negative 2x. Now divide. Negative 6x squared divided by x would be negative 6x, lowers the power by 1. When you multiply it, that will be negative 6x squared and negative 12x. But again, you're subtracting, so both of those signs are going to change to plus. Now my 6x squared is going to cancel, and negative 2 plus 12 would be positive 10x. And I'm going to carry down the 2. Now divide. 10x by x would be just positive 10. When I multiply it back through, that would be positive 10x. And 10 times 2 would be positive 20. But again, you're changing the sign, so these both become negative. I'm left with a remainder of negative 18. So it's going to be minus 18 over x plus 2. And that right there is your answer. Now moving on to number 30. So this one, remember, it's outside multiplied by the length of the line equals outside multiplied by the length of the entire line. So in this case, my outside would be 3 because the outside is 3. the length of the entire line is going to be 3 plus 9 is going to give us 12. Now for this line, the outside is actually x, but the length of the entire line is also x because it doesn't extend past here. So when you do this, 3 times 12 is going to give us 36. X times x gives us x squared. When you solve, you take the square root of both sides, which means that x is going to be equal to 6. Now let's look at the same property as that last one. It's outside multiplied by the length of the entire line equals outside multiplied by the length of the entire line. So this line up on top, the outside portion would just be 1. The length of the entire line will be 1 plus x. On my second line, the outside would be 2. The length of the entire line will be 2 plus 4, which is 6. Now to solve, you're going to distribute that 1, so that will be 1 plus x, and then 2 times 6 is 12. Now to get the x by itself, you're going to move the 1 to the other side, and therefore x is equal to 11. Now moving on to number 23. Number 23, we have to look in our book, and what we need to do is we need to find out what the equation of this line is going to be. Now you're going to take your little clear piece of strip ruler thing, and you're going to try and match up as many dots as you close to as many dots as you possibly can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come up with this line approximately right here, where the tip is going to be all the way at the top, and then the bottom is going to be down here, right about here. So the 2 points that I'm going to be looking at are here, and then my top point here. I know it's hard to see, but this bottom point is going to be one space over from the 20. And this is counting by 2s. So that will be 18, comma, and then it's on the bottom, and this is counting by 10. So this would be 40, 30, and then 20. For this point all the way at the top, it's going over 36, and then it's going up 120. Now to solve for the equation of the line, the ending equation is going to be O equals MI plus B. But the first thing that I need to do is solve for M. So I'm going to solve for the slope using the equation y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So my y1 is 20 minus my y2 is 120 over x1, which is 18, minus x2, which is 36. So in my calculator, I'm going to do 20 minus 120, which would be negative 100. And then 18 minus 36 would be negative 18. So if I were to simplify that, that would simplify to 50 over 9. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug those points into the equation y equals mx plus b. And to solve for plus b, I'm going to plug in my points. So I'm going to choose these 2 points here. That would be 20 equals 50 over 9 times 18 plus b. But look at that. 9 goes into 18 2 times. So I end up with 20 minus 100 equals b. So my b is going to be equal to negative 80. Now again, I have to fill in my m and my b here in my equation. If you wanted to put this into decimal form, 50 over 9 is equal to 5.5555. So you can put 0 or O equals 5.56i minus 80. And that would be your answer for number 23. Now that concludes your questions for lesson 91B. This lesson is officially due tomorrow, so please make sure you do that. Have a great day.